Okay, let's start up a new project. No, not on the lathe, not this time. Although there might be something on in the future coming. Anyway, this is a Yamaha 650 special. I believe it's a 78, if my memory serves me right. Anyway, the chap that owns this been having a little bit of electrical trouble with it here and there ever since he's had it. It's quite drivable. It seems to run all right, but he has problems keeping fuses from popping in it, and he tells me that quite often he has to charge the battery. Now, I really don't know if that's a battery issue or not. I did have this battery on charge. Here, we'll just turn on the meter and see what that says. Whoops, that's the 200 volt scale. 12.4. That's what it was the other day. Now, just because a battery is putting out voltage doesn't necessarily mean that it's still kicking out the amperage that it needs. Now, I think that's a fairly new battery, but that doesn't always mean anything either. I mean, if the battery's been low cycled really badly, it can hurt it, and you wind up losing the capacity in it. So anyway, that's one of the things I have to check out. I really wish I had a load tester so I could check out things like that. However, I don't have one. Maybe I'll get one of these days, maybe sooner than later. Anyway, getting back to the Yamaha, what he wanted me to do was to put a alternator kit in it where you replace the standard alternator with a magnetic alternator, and it eliminates the need for brushes or anything like that. These are things that they call upgrades, and frankly, sometimes I don't know if an upgrade is really an upgrade or not. Anyway, I had a look at it. The only trouble with putting this system in, installing it would be fairly straightforward. It really wouldn't be too bad, but the trouble is on these later bikes, there is nothing up in here at the end of the camshafts because they get their ignition off the flywheel, which is on the alternator rotor. So you take that alternator rotor and replace it, all of a sudden you have no ignition system. So if he wants me to fit that, we're going to also have to buy an ignition system and either the mechanical advance or the electronic advance, which is what I would recommend. If you're going to go electronic, you might as well go all the way. But anyway, that's that problem. He also wanted me to change out the old wiring harness, and I've laid this nice pretty new one that he bought on the bike, and the only problem is that most of the plugs aren't the same. You know, these plugs right here. Some are the same, some will plug in, but most of them aren't. So that wiring harness is not made for this particular motorcycle. Now, I don't know. It could be a thing with 1 year being different from another. It could also be a thing with North American bikes being different from, let's just say, European bikes. Or it could also be that the bikes that were exported to Canada were different from the ones that were exported to the United States. I don't know. But the thing is, I can't just plug in that nice wiring harness because it just won't plug in. So anyway, I'm going to have to figure out another thing. I think what I'm probably going to do with the wiring harness right now, he's probably got a short somewhere in there that's causing that main fuse to blow. So I'm going to go through the wiring harness with a fine-tooth comb, check out any spots that are worn. I have found a hot wire that's worn right through. Actually, it's down here on the other side. See if I can find that. Yeah, right there on that big plug right there, you can see, I think, if the camera will show it, that red and white wire is worn right through to the copper. So if that's touching ground, that will definitely blow a fuse. But I'm going to go through the whole thing, check it all out. As far as that that generator goes. I think we're going to wait and see what happens. I'll check with the voltage regulator, rectifier, make sure the brushes are good in that alternator, and I'll check the alternator core out as well, because those cores seem to be a little bit of a weak point on this bike. But like I say, fitting that alternator to like an older bike like my 75 here, that would be, you know, an easy thing to do. But oh, I have a little friend here today. Hello, Mr. Chipmunk. Look at that. He's as brave as can be. Anyway, he's checking the place out. So, meanwhile, that's what I'm going to be doing to this, and I'll keep you posted with what happens.